Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the life of Lal Bahadur Shastri, India's second Prime Minister. Now, his story isn't about the usual glitz and glamour of power. No, it's about a quiet leader whose incredible integrity and humility left a mark on a nation that, honestly, you can still feel to this day.
Hard work is equal to prayer. This right here, this was the bedrock of Shastri's entire philosophy. For him, this wasn't just some nice-sounding quote, it was his code of conduct. And this core belief, which you can see was deeply influenced by his mentor, Mahatma Gandhi, would basically frame every major decision he ever made.
And this philosophy, well, it started shaping who he was from a very young age. He truly believed that a person should be defined by their actions and their mind, not by the lottery of their birth, which, you have to remember, was a pretty radical idea at the time.
See, from early on, Shastri was just completely against India's rigid caste system, that social ladder determined by who your parents were. So in this incredibly powerful move, he dropped his family surname, publicly cutting ties with a social order he saw as totally unjust. Okay, but that begs the question, right? If he dropped his surname, where in the world did the name Shastri actually come from?
And the answer is pretty fascinating. Shastri wasn't a family name at all. It was a title he earned. It literally means scholar, and it was awarded to him when he graduated in 1925. Think about that. He chose to be defined by his knowledge, not his family tree.
Now, this core belief in merit and principle wasn't just a personal thing. It was about to be forged into a political weapon, right in the fire of India's long, hard fight for independence.
After being inspired by Gandhi's famous Dandi March in 1930, Shastri just threw himself into the freedom movement with what people called feverish energy. For the next 15 years, he led all these defiant campaigns against British rule, which eventually led to him being asked to help build a new government in 1946.
So what did all that commitment cost him personally? 7 years of his life spent in British jails just for being part of the freedom movement. His conviction was tested over and over, but he just never wavered.
And once he was in government, starting out in his home state of Uttar Pradesh, he built his reputation for being tireless and incredibly efficient. He rose fast, from parliamentary secretary to home minister, and became known as the guy who just got things done. Period.
But it was on the national stage in New Delhi where his integrity would face its biggest public test, in an event that would pretty much define his entire legacy. After moving to the capital in 1951, he held several huge cabinet posts, and his stature grew with every single one. He was Minister for Commerce, Home Minister, and then, in what turned out to be a fateful appointment, he became the Minister for Railways.
And it was in this job that his principles were really put under the microscope. I mean, how does a leader with that much integrity respond when faced with a terrible tragedy that happened on their watch?
His response was stunningly simple. He resigned. After a tragic railway accident took many lives, Shastri stepped down. He took full moral responsibility. He didn't look for scapegoats, he didn't blame his staff, he held himself accountable. This act of leadership was, well, it was unlike anything the country had ever seen before. It was called an unprecedented gesture in Parliament and earned him this deep, genuine respect all across the nation. This was the moment that really cemented his reputation as a leader of true integrity.
And this exact character is what would define his time as Prime Minister, where he really focused on the two pillars he saw as the foundation of India, the farmer and the soldier.
He popularized a slogan that still echoes across India to this very day, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, which translates to Hail the soldier, hail the farmer.
But look, this was so much more than a slogan. It was a national vision. Shastri knew that for India to be truly strong, it had to be self-reliant. It had to be defended by its soldiers and, crucially, fed by its farmers.
So all these traits, they really defined his leadership. It was this unique mix of humility and tolerance, but it was backed by this incredible inner strength. He was resolute for sure, but he was never distant. He was, above everything else, a man of the people, who spoke their language and truly understood their struggles.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? In an era where political accountability can seem so rare, what can we learn from a leader who resigned, not because he was forced to, but because his own conscience demanded it? What does Shastri's example of integrity really mean for leadership today?